My coverage of Computex 2019 is sponsored by Techwear, providing quality computer and gaming products. Another big gun of the mechanical keyboard market is of course Ducky. The Ducky booth was constantly packed and from what I saw was the most popular mechanical keyboard based booth at Computex. A lot of Ducky's recent success has been because of the Ducky 1-2 Mini, which was an absolute hit, in particular with this bloke, so they showed off a bunch of those with several different colorways and themes. The more interesting 60% though was this Mecha Mini. This is essentially an aluminium version of the Ducky 1-2 Mini, however it has what they say is a nano coating. It's a glossy sort of finish rather than the typical smooth anodized finish on most alu boards. Don't know how I feel about it. It does look pretty, but it does get pretty grubby with the fingerprints as we can see. And just like the 1-2 Mini, its USB Type-C has RGB backlighting and seamless backlit PBT double shot keycaps. The case and PCB is all standard for 60% parts, so it'll fit into aftermarket cases, and other standard 60% PCBs will be able to fit into this. So from what I can see, it's essentially a Ducky 1-2 Mini, but in aluminium, and that's cool, nothing wrong with that, but yeah, of course it'll be more expensive. The other big new upcoming release is this Ducky 1-2 SF. SF standing for 65%. The big thing about 65% boards and why I like them is that they have dedicated arrow keys and a few nav cluster keys. The layout is a bit different to other 65% boards. It has 67 keys with just 3 out of the main area. A more, I guess, conventional approach would be to have a 4th, but yeah, they left that block empty. The weird bit is the 2U right shift. Normally it would be a 1.75U, which is the common size for most compact boards, and is now in many keycap sets, so it's easy to cover. The 2U is a bit more awkward, and they're just using a numpad 0 key for that. I suspect that these are just placeholder keycaps, so they don't specifically have the correct legends on them yet, but still, it isn't the greatest for keycap compatibility, which is a bit of a shame. The cool version though had a whole area to itself. This was the Year of the Pig edition, and there was a whole lot of info, and it had a video playing all about the thought process behind it. Too bad I couldn't be bothered to check that stuff out, but yeah, they actually put some real good effort towards this one. First of all, the box was stunning. It had a custom keyset with custom legends, which to be honest, I don't mind. If you're gonna have a themed keyboard like this, then you gotta do it. And to be honest, I have no idea if these other artisan caps come with the board, but they're pretty cool as well. Another new board that Ducky had was the Freedom. This one was all about its connectivity, in which there are 3 modes: good old wired, Bluetooth 4.2, and wireless. It wasn't much of a looker in my opinion and seemed like a bit too much plastic for me. And for me personally, the other Ducky full-sized and TKL designs look better, in which have stayed the same, so no updates there. Still an interesting board though in regards to its connectivity, which may tickle someone's fancy. Overall, I'm super happy with what Ducky did this year. They didn't just refresh their Shine series with the TKLs and full size, they finally came to the 65% game. Well, it's the same design and all, which is fair enough as it fits the lineup. The Mecha Mini is a nice addition as well. With the 1-2 Mini doing so well, I really didn't expect basically a metal version of it, but again, it makes sense. And yeah, Ducky being Ducky, they have different colors and whatnot for many of their boards, and they're expanding their lineup slowly, which they really needed to do because everyone is on the move to produce more unique keyboards to stand out in this heavily saturated market. Big thanks again to Techwear for supporting my coverage of Computex 2019. More stuff to come, so stay tuned.